and I have to keep reminding myself that I can't please everyone. No, I could do the best video in the world, I could do the best performance in the world. There's at least gonna be one person that does not like it, and you have to get used to it. And so I just I'm just like, that's life. I can't control it. I'm not gonna fixate on something that I personally can't control, and that's kinda like how I got through all of this.
Welcome everyone to episode number 13 of the Johnny Rogers Show. I'm very happy to have my guests on today. Ladies and gentlemen, Lindsay Ivan. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. We're both at our YouTube home setups right now.
Yeah, with the records. Yeah, you got info from me. I had this first.
I've been doing records on my wall for a while.
Okay.
I just didn't film on it, but yeah. I love it though.
True.
What's your favorite one behind you right now?
I just got this one, little Scoob.
Scooby-Doo. Nice. I'm noticing the cartoon
vintage
theme.
Scooby-Doo. Yes. I got Mickey, 2 Mickeys.
Mickey Mouse Disco looks like it would be a time.
People made fun of me for that one. They're like, why does she have that up there? I'm like, I like the cover art.
Yeah, sometimes it's cool. That was the whole fun thing about records back in the day, was like you didn't have the internet to just search up what was going to be on the album. You had to just look at it in the packaging and be like, yeah, that looks cool, I guess. Like,
I think it will sound good. I hope so.
Based on the art, I think it's going to sound good. Like that was what you had to go off of. Or maybe what somebody said. Yeah.
Literally, that's the bee's knees or whatever the hell they're saying.
Whatever people in the 50s said.
Whatever.
So our topic that we're going to start with, word of the day, is negativity. We push that down from mean comments and from YouTube, because have we been spinning, Miss Peach?
Pardon?
I said Miss Peach. Are you still doing Peach?
Oh, Miss Peach.
Yeah.
A little, honestly. I did a video on my channel, like reacting to mean comments. So obviously I had to find these mean comments to react to. And I normally don't let that affect me. But like some people, I'm just like, the audacity. Like somebody told me that I gained weight. And I'm like they literally said, like, no offense, but you got fat. And I'm like, where? When? It's like the fact that
you're like, please point it out.
Outright say that.
Yeah, that's the internet. Like,
exactly. It's gross. Like we put ourselves out there and then people are just like, yeah, we don't like you. We're gonna let you know that we don't like you.
You know what though? I think it's more so they don't like themselves. Because like I've never met a confident person who also shit talks on a YouTube comment section. I don't meet most people that shit talk in YouTube comment section. Like I've never been hanging out with one of my friends and he's like, I just said the meanest shit to, Jeff Bezos.
Mr.
Take a look.
Yeah, literally.
Like, I just told this guy from my favorite kids show that he's like a loser now. Like
it like blows my mind to the point where like I just laugh it off. Like a lot of people will say like it just stems from their own insecurity. So, you
have to do that. You have to like humanize it in that sense. Even if it is like a negative emotion, you have to still humanize it, because then it, as much as it doesn't make sense, it also does make sense. Like you're just like, okay, if you really like sit with it and you think about like really humanize the negative comment and like think about the type of person that is writing this, and maybe even then go a step further, think about the day they've been having, then think about the life they've had. And you're like, okay, I get why somebody would arrive at this as like they think that this is totally normal behavior. Because
for sure,
I see this on Twitter constantly. Twitter is like the place for just like toxic negativity.
I've heard. I don't have Twitter, but no.
Good idea. Because like if you want to spin yourself in a little circle, it's like look into a thread of tweets. There's some tweets that are just so vile, and then you'll like or even Instagram comments. There's Instagram comments that are just horrible. And then you'll click on their profile because you can do that. They think like they can't. And then you see it's like photos with them and their family, and they're like, oh, he went vacation to Connecticut last summer. Like, why did he need to
it's
call
not
me
even
a
like
dumbass?
pictures of themselves. Like half the time, like when I look at like these haters' profiles, it's not even pictures of themselves.
Just some random bot.
Honestly, it might be.
Don't feed into that shit. I wouldn't even like because I've played with that idea before too, of like, do I do a video that's like just me reading mean comments? And then every time I sit down to do it, I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that.
So I made it like a joke. Like I was just like, I took it in, and then I like just made fun of it to be like, I'm okay with this. But it gets me when
I'm gonna do one where every one of them hurts me. I'm not gonna do it as a joke. I'm just gonna go.
I'm just like bawling by the end of it.
You're like, okay, thank you.
Why would you guys say this?
On to the next one, please.
Literally, coming in at number 6, we have You're ugly again.
Like, you imagine if the celebrities read mean tweets, but it was like they couldn't handle it. You know what I mean? Like most of them, they seem to be like, they'll do that. They'll like joke it off, or they'll say something.
It's hilarious. I love when they do it. It's bad, but like I love.
But at the same time, you're like, there's probably meaner tweets that would fuck up their day that they probably had to sort through.
Probably. They gave them, like the softer ones for sure.
Yeah. Nice little softballs. That's a funny audio clip to clip out, is me saying nice little softballs.
Nice softballs.
Softball questions. I'm saying softball questions. Jesus Christ. How have you found it to be like running this new, like, I know you're pretty ahead on Peach as far as I know, right? Like you're like do you post once a day on that channel? It's the same company, and I'm acting like I have no idea.
Yeah. You're like, she's doing on her
I'm like, I am also running Inform Overload, and it's like sometimes it's like blinders where you're just like, oh god, I gotta focus on this.
You got
like
so much to do, man.
But then
props to you.
Yeah, I do my best, but
you're like,
I do what I can. But again, like you just said, it's more than just one person. It's like a whole fucking team of people that make it happen. So,
and people don't realize that. Like, sorry, going back to the whole hate thing.
Yeah.
Like, let's say an editor like doesn't know the topic we're talking about and like puts the wrong image in, it falls back on the host. And it's like, she's so stupid, she doesn't know what she's talking about. This is the wrong image. And I'm like, okay, give us a slack. Like, first of all, we script and we film a lot, and they're editing a lot. So it's
the editors edit, like, people watching don't understand the amount of work that those editors do. Like, it's just, and it's baffling because I've learned how to edit myself, just because I was like, oh, it'll be easier if I need something done, I'll just figure out the basics and get it done, right? But like, even just learning some basic stuff, I'm like, they have to do this every day, multiple times a day. Like, oh my god, I'd be going insane. Like, just
literally, me too.
Not for me. Listening to the same clip over and over and over again to just try to get the sound right or something. No.
Every time I fuck up, and they're like, "Come on, Lindsay."
Yeah. Because I edited my own videos, like for the podcast and stuff here, just, whatever, the cutting off it's not very much editing. I pretty much leave everything in. I just cut off the intro, cut off the outro, but and find a fun clip to put at the beginning. But even doing that, every time I film now and I make a mistake, I'm thinking from the editor's point of view. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I know.
I know I just fucked that sentence up like 6 times. You're like, god damn it. Literally. I did like, though, when they were putting in the bloopers, because then people could kind of see you like,
and like you had a personality then.
You're less like da, 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 and then you kind of like free
they're
yourself
a human.
up.
They actually, they have fun. They're not so serious all the time. Yeah, for sure. Peach, sorry, totally got.
Let's go back to Peach.
We were doing 2 uploads a day. Now we're doing 1 a day, hopefully to increase it eventually. But it's been going well. It's certain videos, the Walmart freakouts have been taking off. People on my channel, they love the people in Walmart freaking out, so we're going down that route.
If you're watching on YouTube right now, you can
stop it. Yeah, we're almost at 60K.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, if you're listening, you're missing out on this right now. We're looking at all the great reaction thumbnails for the channel.
Oh, that's always funny to do.
No, it's awesome though. And then you also have I like getting some promo stuff out of the way while people are still paying
Oh,
attention.
I mean, go ahead. Plug whatever you
Go,
want.
yeah, go subscribe to Lindsay, and I'll put all those links in the description down below too. Also on Instagram,
Hell
Lindsay
yeah.
underscore Ivan as well. Um, but yeah, that's like super exciting. It's always cool to see like people at the company being able to kind of branch off and have their own like
Mhm,
channel that's just you on the channel. And I think that really
mhm.
like helps elevate kind of your personality as an entertainer as well. Because it's just so much of you, right? Like people can come there and they
Yeah.
can just consume everything Lindsay if they really want to, right?
And then they get tired of me and they're
And
like,
then they're like,
unsubscribe.
all right.
Her jokes are getting old.
You're like, all right, she said that twice now. I'm out of
Yeah.
here.
It's actually really funny. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Actually funny because now on Instagram, people are now saying like, "Hey, Peach," or like they're like literally calling me Peach, and I didn't
Wow.
think that was gonna happen, but like on photos, they're like, "Looking good, Peach. How you doing, Peach?" I'm like, "Okay, I guess I literally my second name is Peach now."
Wow. You just like inadvertently gave yourself a nickname because of like a
Yeah, I'm like,
work
good thing it was a
channel.
nice name like Peach and not something like bad. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine pineapple. No.
Oh my God. Even
So
like
sad.
the Bumblebee channel, I would be annoyed if people were like, "What's up, Bumblebee?" I'd be like,
Yeah.
don't call me that."
Don't call me an insect. No thanks.
Please do not call me an insect.
No.
I also wanted to talk to you though about this this like influencer scamming chick because I covered that
Mhm.
on IO. I want to what was her name again? I don't know why I'm blanking on her
Sophia
name.
Nur.
Sophia Nur. So if you watched on Inform Overload, we did a video that was like influencer, like no, what was it?
Like
Influencers like get
scams.
scammed out of like millions of dollars. And essentially this, and I think I actually talked about this with someone else on the podcast too, just because it was like fresh in my mind at the time. But I want to hear
Mhm.
your encounter with her actually,
Yeah.
because that's
Oh.
crazy. But to give the fans a little bit of context, this lady essentially lied wherever she went to. She found the biggest like influencer or celebrity based events. And then whenever she was like near the people that she wanted to get close to, like i.e. the celebrities, she would tell them that she like either worked for the event or she was like somebody who could get them things essentially so that they were like more like, oh, this is my friend. You know, I see her at all these events.
Mhm.
She says she works for it, whatever. There's some familiar stuff happening there. But then she would just randomly call them and be like, I just got robbed. Like, I don't have anywhere to stay. And then these influencers, thinking this is my friend, they would just send them thousands of dollars. And this lady's just taking all this money and just living for free, basically, off of scamming these
Yeah.
influencers into
First of
thinking
all,
that she's their friend. Like that's all it
yeah,
was.
like imagine that though. Like how many
Fuck.
years was she getting away with that?
My
It
God.
blows my mind. And yeah, it's even crazier that like literally I've met her and I've talked to her and we
Yeah,
were
because you
like
saw that video, you were like,
acquaintances. Yeah, I literally for those that don't know, I saw the video on Inform Overload and I messaged Johnny right away and I was like, I think I know this girl. And I'm like, she's from Toronto, right? Like I didn't want to assume. So I like verified. I'm like,
and I was
she's
like,
from
yep.
Toronto, right? Yeah. So oh, I don't even know what year this was. I want to say maybe 2019. I think so. I was in the 100 word film festival here in Toronto. Basically, you had to have a short film that was only 100 words. Like you literally couldn't have more, you couldn't have less. It had to be 100
Wow.
words exact. And then you would submit it, and if it got chosen, it would be at this like streaming party. And so we were at like this theater viewing it, and then afterwards there was an after party, and we were talking to all the different creators and stuff like that. And I remember I met her because I followed her on Instagram. We both followed each other back.
My God.
And she said that she was a publicist. But in my mind, I'm like, why was she even there? Like it wasn't TIFF. It wasn't a
Yeah.
huge festival. And I'm like, if she was there to scam people, I'm like, we're all like struggling artists. Like no one there has a lot of money. So that just
She was
makes me
still in
laugh.
her amateur days of scamming people. Like she's
No,
showing up at the
she was
wrong
just
events.
trying it out. She's like, "Can I fool people? Maybe." So she probably got in that event for free. But she even
Oh
had like a lanyard too, like with like a press pass. And I'm like, was that fake? Like,
I mean,
I don't
like
know.
those kind of things have been faked before. Like we've seen videos of people like getting into big like promotion, big boxing matches, just faking like a lanyard pass and just showing, oh, I'm in the VIP, like just flashing it and going, right? So I mean, it's very possible that she was this crafty. Like some people have
Probably. Well,
that much time on their hands.
true. If she didn't really have a real job, then like you have so much time on your
Oh yeah,
hands.
you got all day to figure out how to Photoshop a lanyard to get into an event,
Literally.
so you can
How
scam some
to
people out of your
Photoshop.
rent money.
Literally.
Fuck.
So yeah, I was talking to her. She was super sweet. Um, Obviously we followed each other on Instagram, and I didn't really know what her job was. Like I was always confused. But when she told me she was a publicist, I don't remember what magazine, but I remember being like, "Oh," because I knew it. I don't I want to say it was like Elle, like something like the magazine. It
Yeah,
wasn't Vogue,
yeah,
but it
yeah.
was in my head I was like, "Oh, that's like this pretty big magazine. Wow, you work
Mhm.
for them?" Like, and then I would watch her stories on Instagram, and she would be with influencers, or she'd get like VIP tickets to like concerts or events, and I was like, "Damn." And I remember responding to one because it was during the pandemic, and she was in LA at it was like probably one of the first reopening concerts, and I was like, first of all, why are you there? Because it's COVID. And I remember
Yeah.
reaching out to her, and I'm like, wow, how did you like work that one out? And she's like, oh, with my job. I was like, damn. And now thinking back to it, I'm like, it was not with your job because you're a little scammer. A little
I mean, her
scammer.
job was scamming people, so her job figured it out. But like that's
Yeah.
exactly everyone's story, is that she seems very sweet when first talking to them, kind of like,
Very
and
sweet.
will approach you as if you're already friends, which is like,
Yes. I got that vibe right away. Like I was so comfortable talking to her, and then she's like, "Oh
yeah.
yeah, what's your Instagram?" I'm pretty sure we took a photo. And like obviously I went back to Instagram to like look at the messages, but she deleted her profile.
My
Oh, I wish I
God.
had them though.
I
Like here's
wonder
proof.
where she's got to be just like hiding out somewhere, just waiting to
I don't
like.
even
But at
know.
that point, like the scam's got to get found out at some point, because it's like some of the biggest people were in that like Twitter space, kind of talking about getting scammed
Yeah.
by her, and then for
Yeah.
her to delete her social media, it's like the jig is kind of up. You know, I feel
Yeah.
like at
She
this
knows.
point you'd just like walk into a Starbucks and she'd be working at a Starbucks and you're like, oh shit, that's the girl.
Literally. With like a different name tag on,
Yeah.
like Sarah.
Yeah.
Aren't you? No, Sarah.
Uh, you're like, is that girl new here? You're
Crazy.
like, that's the boss's wife.
Or
Even
so
they
she
get
says.
scammed.
Now she starts scamming like Starbucks.
She
Yeah, my
scammed
cousin
Starbucks into
actually owns
hiring
this
her.
place.
Yeah, yeah. So you should
Literally.
get me a job.
Like just I don't understand. Like it's
You know
crazy.
what? I think it's a mix of things. It's probably a mix of like desperation, one, but like delusions of grandeur, like just like thinking that they are this, already believing that they're this like celebrity type figure, and
Mhm.
they feel entitled to knowing these people and being friends with these
Mhm.
people. And then when it's not the truth and it's not the case, they just figure out whatever way. Humans are so crafty at figuring out a
We're
way
sneaky
to
guys.
get what they want. Humans are
Yeah.
sneaky as fuck, and they'll figure out a way to get what they want, even if it means scamming people. But like,
It's
god
scary.
damn, I can't believe you actually met her. Like that's what's
That's
wild.
why I saw her photo in the thumbnail. I'm like, well, it kind of looks like a girl I know. And then I was listening to the story. I'm like, I know this girl.
Like, this is the girl I know.
Holy.
My
I
god.
can't believe it. But like I read another story like way before her. I think it was even more famous where this girl was pretending to be like some like celebrity, but she just made it up. Like she wasn't even big. And like she would get hotels and flights for free because she'd be like, yeah, and the hotels would just like give it to her for free. And she got caught. Pretty sure she got fined. So I don't know
Oh my
what's gonna
god.
happen with Sophia if she's gonna be fined if she's watching this video right now. If you wanna hop on the podcast, hit up Ronnie Rogers. Can you imagine?
I would
You and her?
love Sophia. Sophia, if you ever want to come on the podcast, you're more than welcome to come on the
You're
podcast.
welcome. You can film
You
it
never,
here. Girl,
hey,
you
you
can
never
come
did
over.
anything to me. You never took any
I'm
money
not gonna
from
touch
me.
you. Yeah.
Nothing. I'm not
True,
going
you
to set
didn't
up a
scam
sting
us.
operation and locate your IP address. Send in the
Cops
SWAT
aren't gonna be
team.
outside the door. It's all good.
I'm not going to be sending it to all the people you screwed over. Don't worry about it. That would be a legendary podcast, though. That would put my podcast on the moon if I was able to get this lady.
You'd go viral.
God damn, now I need to figure it out.
Do it.
That's going to be my next like few videos, is just tracking down Sophia.
Tracking Sophia. I have like a series. It was like surviving Sophia was like the hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag search for Sophia. Or search for Sophia.
That's good too. Searching for Sophia.
It's like, hey, we went all crazy with that Brian Laundrie thing. Now let's look for this Sophia person.
Yeah.
That was wild, the way the internet mobilized on that.
It was like all the talk, and now it's like nothing. Because you're like, it didn't even happen. Like, excuse me, I'm still traumatized. Like,
it almost feels like what's that thing? Like a Mandela effect. Like, you're like,
oh my god,
did that happen? Was that a thing?
You guys remember that? You know?
I feel like I was just distracted by something, and now I'm back to like reality here. Because like that was something that people were. Now this is like obviously conspiratorial.
I know.
Because like people love again, as much as the internet loves to be like detectives and figure stuff out and save the missing white lady, they also are big conspiratorial people. And the craziest one that I heard about the whole Brian Laundrie case was that it was like a psyop to distract people from like all of this other shit that's happening. So it's like they think, these people think that the FBI made up the story. Like these people don't exist. Like Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie never existed. This is the theory. They never existed.
Oh my god.
They're state actors, and they were put into the media to like run all of these stories, to cover any news stories that would have been negative about America pulling out of Afghanistan, because that was happening like I believe right around the same time. And I'm like, it's certainly
that's like, something.
It's certainly, yeah, sure. But like things happen at the same time everywhere. It's like people I think people don't get that because they're so inside of their own world that they don't think that like other like shit is happening in other places right at this moment as we speak. As we speak right now, statistically, out of 7 billion people on the planet,
this
a million people
covering
are pooping.
Up something.
Yeah, this podcast is covering up 1 million people pooping in America.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not a conspiracy
Yeah, it's
theory.
true. It's so true. Like just today, I saw a TikTok from Tana Mojo being like, "Here's my theory." I don't know if you've seen it, but they're like, apparently, like Brian Laundrie's, like the way that they found him, they found his like teeth, and then his family was the dentist and verified the dental records.
Hold on.
And so they're like, something like that. And so they're like,
his family's the dentist?
Or like his dentist, or had his dental records. And so like they brought it.
Because that would be crazy, like if his dad was a dentist or something. I'd be like, sir.
So theory goes that like it just so happened that when they were searching for him, they just all of us when the parents got involved, all of a sudden they found the notebook and like the teeth. So maybe he like extracted teeth, or they're not even his teeth. And then I don't even know. And then Tana Mojo's like, he's probably in Paris, just like living his life. I'm like,
I hate it how she can just like just say that, you know what I mean, and just be like, whatever.
Whatever. This is my theory. And then of course, some people are like, yes, and other people are like, Tana, no.
Yeah, like that's what I hate is this. That's the other pandemic in and of itself, is this need to comment on everything all the time.
Mm-hmm.
To have a stance. Everybody's got to have a stance on something at all times. Like,
and they have to like get it out there that this is their stance.
Yeah.
Like, you just not keep it to yourself.
Yeah, like Tana Mojo again, like during the election, she was like, "I love Biden so much, I'm going to show my booty for Biden." Like, and then you know what I mean? Like, she made a hashtag. It's anything. It's like it's so weird to me that it's just like it's such an attention-seeking culture, that like influencer side of the internet, where it's like there's not really a discernible skill that you can like pick out that they're known for. You're not like, oh, they're famous because like, well, they were a really good singer back in the day, or they acted in that show that was really great. It's like they're just famous.
I know.
because they say
And
shit.
that's crazy to me. Like,
Like,
for me, everyone's like, "Oh, like, are you gonna do YouTube your whole life?" And I'm like, "Honestly, my number one priority is acting." Like, sure, this is great on-camera experience, but in the end, I wanna be known as an actor, not the girl from Most Amazing or Peach, you know?
yeah, yeah,
So,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and let me restart that. Here we have our guest today, actress Lindsay Ivan.
Thank you, I
I'm gonna
appreciate
ask.
that.
I'm gonna ask people for titles again. What has been
True.
your favorite part? Like, what made you want to be an actor?
I didn't know what else I was good at. That's honestly it. Like, I had a lot of interests, and, I remember being in grade 12, terrible anxiety, and I was just like, "I don't know what I wanna do, I'm not ready." So, I actually took a 5th year, and people were like, "Oh, she failed." I'm like, "No, I did it by choice." So, I took a 5th year, and I did co-op at a theater downtown, Young People's Theater, and I was just surrounded by acting, like, every other day, and I was like, "This is what I wanna do." And I'm like, "I don't wanna do theater, like, in performance, but, like, I wanna be an actor." And then I had, like, other interests, like this is a totally different, like, topic, but, like, I wanted to either go into, like, criminology or, like, forensic psychology. But I chose acting because it was just a 2-year program, and I'm like, "Hey, if I don't like it, it's only 2 years." And I'm so glad that I did that. So, yeah, I went down that route, and then while in college, I still took, like, courses for, like, criminology and forensic psychology, so I could still, like, satisfy
Yeah,
satisfy
yeah.
that
At least
part
you
of
still
me.
got that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically it. I was like, "What am I good at?" And I'm like, acting."
I
So,
feel like
we'll explore
acting is
that.
such a good vocation though for like because I talked to Jared about the exact same thing. His word was acting, right, for his podcast.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
like I had also felt that same thing about when I was like wanting to be an actor was like I don't know what I want to do, but I know that acting it lets you do all of the things. Because
Mhm.
like it's not that I don't know what I want to do per se, it's that I want to do too much. I want to do too many
Yeah,
things. I want to do all
that
the
was it
things.
too.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
and certain things take a long time to like really,
Yep.
you know, if I wanted to be a fireman, I couldn't do that tomorrow. That's like a 2-year program, and then
No,
you've got
but
to
get a gig and, you'll
but
be
yeah, but
pretending to be
get
a
a gig.
fireman.
Exactly. And it just satiates that like, oh, that'd be cool. And then it's done, which is what I love so much about acting, is that you can
That's
put on this
exactly it.
character. And I love that. Just being able to like jump into that character and then jump out of it. Be someone
Yeah,
else maybe for a second is also
for a
like kind
bit.
of a cool thing, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree. That was one thing that I liked. I was like, I knew that I could not do like 9 to 5 just like regular boring office work. Like I needed something new every single day or like, so when I book a role, one day I'm a police officer, one day I'm a criminal, one day I'm this, like
Hmm.
it's you get to explore all these different things and it's always new. It's always something exciting versus just like sitting at a desk photocopying, like doing boring office work.
Oh my God. I've had
So,
so many of those jobs where it's just like the worst, honestly. Like, because I worked tons of like administrative jobs, like stuff like that. But the worst was retail. Like,
oh, I've
standing,
heard bad stories.
oh my God, standing in a
Yeah.
store that's dead and your shift is like that the shift like you don't get to go. It's not like a restaurant where you're like, yeah, we'll shut down early, you know, not enough customers tonight, whatever. No, they're open until 9 and you're scheduled
Mhm.
5 to 9. If there's nobody in there, it's just 4 hours of silence. And you're just
Yep.
kind of like standing there just
Yeah, you
drowning in
can't
your
really
own
sit.
thoughts. You can't even
Like somebody
sit.
walks in, yeah,
Yeah,
and then you're like,
you got to
"Oh,
be up, you got
shoot."
to be ready to help
Yeah,
them or whatever. You got to be like a
that would
robot ready to
absolutely
go.
kill me. Yeah,
Oh my
no,
God.
I could not do that ever. I'm glad that I never had to. Fortunately, never have to work retail.
Yeah, you got to have like a real passion, I think, for like merchandising to really want to
Full I
dig your
love folding.
heels. Yeah. Just I love folding so much. This
I
is my
love
dream job.
customers. Yeah, no,
I
never do
love
that.
being asked dumb questions by customers. You're just
I
like,
love greeting every single person, even when I like, and putting on a smile on your face when you're having the shittiest day.
it's
No.
like, hi, hi.
Yeah,
I was
that'd be
just
me.
God. I remember having to do that at like an American Eagle. I was just like the greeter during the
You know, it's
holidays.
funny. is you look like someone that would have worked at American Eagle or Hollister. Like, yeah, you're the typical. That's so funny.
I hired right away as like a seasonal
Yeah.
hire or whatever. I quit because
In,
I was like, this
perfect.
sucks.
You're like, you got board shorts, flip flops, you're in.
Cargo
like,
shorts, even better.
Cargo shorts, yeah. Oh my God, you've got the job.
It's like, oh fuck. But you found like a passion for clothes in a sense with starting the little side hustle, little side business.
I have a little side hustle.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that a little bit? What made you want to get into that? Have you always been just a big fan of like going to vintage shops and like trying to find cool clothes, or?
Pretty much. Like when I was younger, I would just go to Value Village with my friends. Like it would be like a fun thing to do, and just like look around, and it was literally just have fun. And then I remember watching YouTubers, and I would watch them go thrifting and pull out outfits. And then an app called Depop came out, and that's where I primarily sell now. But the app came out, and it was just a way for people to sell their clothes to get rid of it. And so I started with just like selling items that I didn't wear in my closet anymore, like nothing like vintage. And then one of the girls that I follow, she's from Toronto, and I saw her go to the thrift store and like pick out these curated items and then resell them, and she was making so much money. Wow. And I was just like, okay, this is something that I want to do because I have an eye for like fashion and vintage clothing. And I just love the hunt of going there and being like, what am I going to find today? Like, is this from the 80s? You know, like all of these are thrifted.
Yeah.
Literally, like I want to say 90% of my wardrobe is thrifted vintage clothing. And now I got into the more like sustainable aspect of it because fast fashion is one of the biggest polluters in the world. Like it's a really big problem. So I just want to be more sustainable with my choices and stuff like this. So shopping secondhand is like, first of all, it's cheaper. Second, like you have a unique outfit that like people don't have, and three, it's like it's good for the environment.
Yeah, but for the people that don't know, what is fast fashion? Like, why is that bad for the? Just for the people that don't know.
So no worries. So fast fashion, like big stores, like Urban Outfitters, H&M, Forever 21, like literally all those stores, they have like there's so much that goes into making these items. Not only like sweatshops where they're paying people like less than $1 an hour, which is absolutely terrible, and they're working in horrible conditions, but also like the chemicals that they use for jeans, they don't discard of it properly, so it's polluting the ground, the earth, the water. Textiles, the fabric, the amount of like items, like obviously if you make a sweater, you're gonna have leftover scraps. They're just throwing these scraps into the landfill.
Wow.
So it's a huge polluter, and it's the fact that they make these items so cheap that people will buy them, and then they don't like them anymore. Some people will donate them, but most of the time it just ends up in the landfill. And it's so cheap that they can make so many, and if it doesn't sell, they're like, hey, screw it, and they'll just get rid of it.
And it's
like
they also do, because it's so cheap, they also will do, I've noticed the way clothing stores used to work before was like you had your seasons, right? Like you would have different seasons. The fall stuff is here now, so or once the winter stuff comes, all the summer stuff goes on sale, and you would just go through that like kind of cycle. But now it feels like there's a new season, I'm using air quotes for anyone listening, a new season every 2 to 3 months. Like they just come out with a new aesthetic or a new like whatever line of this, and then they get rid of all of a sudden a line of that, and it's less seasonal and just more so like high turnover instead.
Yeah, well, they have to do that because that's not what we expect. We expect constant new stuff, like new. And then obviously they're just looking for more ways to get money. So like they'll have their staple pieces, and then they'll have these like new trends that come in every 2 weeks, and then they go out every 2 weeks, and people are like, I want to hop on that trend. Oh, it's not in style anymore. Let me just throw that out. It's crazy.
Insane waste. Yeah, that's wild. I didn't even know though about like, well, I mean, obviously it's just like ignorance is bliss, but like when did you start looking into like all of the, I guess, environmental aspects of like how that's impacting, you know?
Yeah. I don't know how it came about. I was just always scared about like pollution in general. I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna kill this earth. We're gonna die. What really got me passionate about this is a couple years ago we had that huge march. It was like worldwide, and like on a certain day, everyone went with like their posters being like, save the earth. And it was like, I don't remember what it was called. It was just like it was
Was
like the
like
climate change.
the Greta Thunberg,
Yeah,
like, yeah.
she started it, and it was like the climate change, and people like would leave school early. It was the whole like walkout. And the next day, after everyone was preaching this, there was posters littered all over the ground downtown, in the subway stations, on the streets.
Disgusting.
I'm like, how can you guys preach 1 minute about save the earth, and then the next minute you don't even like recycle your posters? That really got me mad, and I literally remember writing this like whole Facebook thing, and I have it on my Instagram still, and it's just ways that we can be more eco-friendly. Like ways that if you have like cloths that you use for rags and you don't want them anymore, that there's actually a textile recycler, and that you can send that there. Markers, you can actually send them back. You can recycle markers instead of just like sending them to landfill. Same with electronics and batteries, you can recycle those too. I don't know how much actually gets used, but it like personally makes me feel better than just like throwing in the garbage.
Yeah,
So I
of course.
did research about all this. I made a post about it, and a lot of people were like, yes, this is the way to go. And then just from there, I continued this path of, okay, guys, let's actually make a change. So obviously I'm not perfect, but I just like shopping secondhand is like the one thing that I do. And I like obviously want other people to. And that's the thing
Mhm.
about my shop, is that a lot of people go on there like, wow, I love your items. They're so unique. And then they'll buy like a bundle, and they'll be like, wow, this is like my spring closet. I'm like, good, it's all secondhand. You know,
Yeah.
it's like a win-win for both of us.
Like you're getting it's like you're getting to be like almost like a morally ethical, like personal shopper. Like like
It's
you can
super
know that
fun.
the goods that are like sent off have all been like, they're all from a secondhand store. It's like you're the one that's distributing it. So there's like some at least goodness
Yeah,
that you can feel in there too. I would
for sure.
say, because like thinking back to the word negativity, I think like I really like commend you for doing stuff like that too, for just not just like going to, because I know so many people that just go to those parades, they go to those marches, and if you're wasted with them at 2 a.m. at a bar, they'll tell you about how we're killing the planet, and then you'll see them litter 2 seconds later with their pizza
Yeah,
or their hot dog wrapper. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But you live it, and like that should be something that's noted. And I think it's important too that more people put the message out there more so than just live it, but be able to like use your platform to be able to like speak to that more often. It's going to
yeah,
hit a lot of people that are 13, and then they're like, whoa, I didn't know that. And then when they start buying their own clothes when they get older, they're going to be like making that conscious decision now, and it's just like a generational thing that we have to get over. But I
yeah,
really hate that, like that relationship that we have with like, they give us new things, so we expect new things, but they're only giving us the new
yeah.
things so that they can make money. Like, is that
It's
capitalism?
like
What
it's a
like
toxic cycle. It's insane. Like it's the same thing with like Apple products when they come out with a new phone. It's like
Mhm.
my phone's fine. I don't need to upgrade, but there are
Yeah.
people out there that are like, I need the biggest and better like, and then what do you do with your
Mhm.
old phone? Like, you know?
Just
That
trash
is
it.
insane to me. I'm like, if it works, it's fine. I don't need to upgrade just to upgrade.
Well, and here's the thing is like, okay, I'm all for capitalism in the sense that like with it, we were able to like build schools, and like
Mhm.
people were able to create businesses and flourish and employ thousands of people and give people livelihoods and careers and yada yada yada. There's lots of great aspects to it. But the negative aspect to it is like our psychological relationship with capitalism is so toxic, because they're gonna give us the new thing because somebody
Mhm.
is ready for the new thing. Somebody just broke their phone, and it's like playing the odds. Apple's going to put
Mhm.
out the new iPhone hoping that 10,000 people just fucked up their phone and they need a new phone. And they're like, well, might as well get the new one. But they also know that there's a bunch of people with the old phones that are like, oh, I don't want to be left out. And they're playing to that psychology as well. So it's like, it's not all,
Yep.
roses and sunshine. Like there is some darkness, if you will, to it that's like hard to avoid. And
For
especially with
sure.
Apple being caught out, like I don't know if you heard about that, but about them saying that essentially their new update software is done on purpose to like get rid of the older phones.
Yes. Oh
Like
my God.
it kills your older phone.
I was literally forced to upgrade to like the phone that I have now. I think I have like the 8
It fries
because
it.
I would like I not only that, but like if I didn't upgrade, like if I didn't like whatever it was, upgrade the software, um the apps were not compatible anymore. And I couldn't even go on Instagram. I couldn't go on Snapchat. And I'm like, what is what is the point? Like it
Yeah.
was like, sorry, this version is not compatible. So then I was forced to upgrade and it got slow. It drained my battery. And that's what people said, that they do it on purpose.
They literally had to say in
Oh,
court that they do that. This
yeah.
is what they do. And then on top
Yeah.
of that, they have like, they made their own screws so that if you want to take out, Apple, like, and they copyrighted it, their very own
Yeah.
screw and their very own tool to open that screw. It's not a regular screw and it's not a regular screwdriver. It's their own. And only they have it at their Apple stores. And maybe some people that have, like, I remember seeing a video about like some tech guy in New York City that owned like a computer repair shop essentially. And he would repair people's Macs because he got a hold of this like tool that opens them up or whatever. And he's like, they're charging you like out the ass. They're scamming you so hard. Like you
Yeah.
go, they went in with like a hidden camera and the guy, there was nothing really wrong with the guy's laptop, but he wanted to do it as a test. And
Mhm.
the genius behind the bar was like, nah, you pretty much like, you should just get a new one at this point. Like it's going to cost you so
I
much
swear they always say
repairs.
that. I swear they
They always
always
say
say
that.
that.
They're like trained to say that. And so it's
That's
just like,
insane. They're tricky, especially with the screw and screwdriver. I did not know that. That is some sneaky, shady business.
that is super shady. You're like, how is
Ah,
this allowed? Like it should be,
I don't
everything should
know.
be open
I got
source.
my
Like,
tea here. I'm just gonna take a sip of my tea real quick. Just okay.
I'm
Damn,
fairly certain.
Apple.
I'll find that video and I'll link that in the description as well for people to watch
Yeah.
if I can remember.
Holy man.
What was I gonna ask you again about? Yeah, negativity. We were talking about mean
Mhm.
comments.
Mhm.
You don't stay in that circle and like spin in that area of like discomfort though. Like, what do you use to get yourself out of believing that stuff? Because there's people
Mhm.
that have like mean comments said to them in person, you know what I mean? And that's got to hit a lot harder
That's way different.
than over the keyboard. But like I think you can almost apply the same mentality though. So what do you
For
think would be the
sure.
best approach?
Um, so when I was first starting off at Most Amazing Top 10, like like obviously my family was like, "Don't read the comments, don't read the comments." Obviously, I still was gonna read the comments. And like for like the YouTubers that I did watch, they would always like do those like sad videos where it's like them crying in the thumbnail, being like, "It hurts," or whatever their thing was that they were saying. And they'd just be like, "Yeah, your words hurt." So I'm like, "Hey, YouTubers are like really impacted by this. I can't let it affect me." Um, I don't know what clicked inside of me. Um, Maybe it was one of my acting coaches. He just said that your performance can't please everyone. Like he said for acting that some directors are going to be like, "Wow, she's brilliant, absolutely love her." Other people are going to see my performances and be like, "She's a terrible actor." You can't control that. You can't control what people think. So I took that and I applied that to YouTube. I'm like, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. There's actors out there that people love. There's actors out there that people don't like. I love Adam Sandler. A lot of people think that he's a shitty actor. Does he have the biggest range? No. Is he funny and entertaining? Yes. So you just I see that.
Well, no, well, I'm like, we'll get back to my defense of Adam Sandler in a second.
We'll get back to that after. So yeah, I just apply that. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. They don't like me. I can't please everyone. That's the biggest thing. I can't, and I have to keep reminding myself that I can't please everyone. No, I could do the best video in the world. I could do the best performance in the world. There's at least going to be one person that does not like it, and you have to get used to it. And so I just I'm just like that's like I can't control it. I'm not gonna fixate on something that I personally can't control, and that's kind of like how I got through all of this.
Yeah, that's definitely the best mentality to have with it, is just like, I mean, some people when they hear like, oh, it's out of my control, like I don't have control, and then they kind of
Yeah,
lose it with that,
they
right? Like
spiral off of that.
that ability to not be able to control what people think about you is very scary for some people. I remember
Mhm.
like one kid that I went to high school with, he like was well liked by a lot of people, but then he like overheard that there was like this one girl that was like, didn't really care for him, just, you know, didn't love him, didn't hate him, just was indifferent, just was like, meh.
Mhm.
And that bugged the shit out of him more than anything else. I watched him like, he wasn't even trying to be he wasn't even trying to date her. He was just trying to get this person to like him. And it
Yeah.
was like the craziest thing to watch. He was like, why is he buying her lunch? Like, this is so weird. You know what I mean? Like, he's
Sounds
just,
like me.
just
Honestly, in
doing
high
all these
school, if I found
crazy
out someone
things.
didn't like me, I'd literally spiral and be like, "I gotta get them to like me." I got like,
What can I do?
it's
Like, I
so
love your shoes.
toxic.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it,
You look great
it's
today.
a, it's a bad, like, it's a bad spot to be in, and you just like can't let
Yeah.
yourself fall into that. But yeah, I mean, kudos to you for being able to like carry that advice over into YouTube, because
Thank
yeah, it's
you.
definitely the place for it. Back
Yeah.
to my defense of Adam Sandler though.
Ah!
The
Okay.
people who say that they don't, first of all, if you don't like Adam Sandler, you clearly haven't watched Uncut Gems, because that was amazing.
I was on my seat the whole time.
Amazing. Like,
I
it was
I
so
didn't
good.
even recognize him.
No,
I
at all. Which
literally
is the job of an
no.
actor, which is,
Yeah.
yeah, like you just were
I just
like loved his character. You were in it.
oh god.
But Adam Sandler specific films, like the ones that he makes
Yeah.
with all of his buddies, they're just like,
Yes.
they're for
They're him
kids.
having fun. They're literally him having fun and being like, "I got
It's
money,
him.
let's make something funny."
Imagine you had all the popularity of Adam Sandler and you were like, I want to just make a fun movie with my friends. All right, let's do
Mhm.
it. They've done like 4 or 5 of them together. It's always the same
Yeah.
guys. It's David
I
Spade,
love it.
Kevin
I love
James,
watching
Chris
literally
Rock.
what Rob Schneider, like, I love when
It's such a weird
we watch
eclectic group of friends, but you're like, okay, I
it's
guess they're
so
friends.
weird, but,
Like,
like, I love watching the movies and then being like, "Oh, he has a cameo. Oh, he has a one-liner," or, like, when he brings his wife in and
yeah,
she has,
yeah,
like, 2
yeah.
lines. I'm like, "Ah, that's
It's
his
it's
wife."
great. Yeah, and but like people fell in love with people our age fell in love with Adam Sandler when we were kids, watching like, you know, whatever, Mr. Deeds or like
Oh my
Happy
god, so good.
Gilmore or any of those
Oh,
movies, right?
love
But
Happy
we're like,
Gilmore.
oh, Adam Sandler's the best. And then as we get older, we're like, oh, he fell off. It's like, no, no, no. The content's just not
No.
for you anymore. You got
Yes.
older. Adam Sandler didn't change. Adam Sandler's the same. You got
Literally the
older.
same.
It's like
Literally the same,
the
though.
same. It's like if you go back to, I don't know about you, but like I can't go back and watch like the first Harry Potter movie. I remember vividly,
Really?
I remember vividly like seeing that movie multiple times in theaters and like loving it, like
Yeah,
thinking like this is amazing. But after everything I've watched since that movie, it sucks.
that makes
In,
sense.
in
The
comparison,
CGI the CGI,
it's
yeah.
awful. The acting is awful. Children should not
It's
be actors.
yeah, I understand that. I was just like, "You don't like Harry Potter?" But if you compare it to, like, the other stuff, then for sure. Like, same with, like, cringy old horror movies, like Friday the 13th. I
They
used to
become
be so
comedies.
scared, and now they're comedies to me.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
literally comedies. I'm like, "Jason? Like,
You're
he's
like,
funny."
ah, look how goofy this thing looks like. It's not scary. You're like, I
Ah,
can
he
see
just
the sound
sliced off
guy.
her
Like,
head. Yeah. So, yeah, I totally get that.
yeah, no, no, no. There's some things that I like refuse to go back and like rewatch just for that reason. I don't want to like soil the memory of it. I'm like, mm-mm.
Exactly.
Which I think is why people are so repulsed by like remakes of things. They're like, nope, this is
Yes,
the idea I have of it in my mind. And I swear to God, if you change any of those details, like,
true. Like, don't ruin this for me.
don't knock off my center of gravity of what I know myself to be.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. We're coming up to close to an hour here, but do you like have any more things on the word negativity that you want to rant out, that you want to get out?
Um, no, I just think that people see, like, YouTubers as this, like, "Oh, she's not gonna read the comments," like, it's almost like they don't see us as real people, which is really weird. Like even on Instagram, when people say like she something something something, it's like I'm reading this instead of saying like
Mhm.
Lindsay, you're awesome. It's like she's awesome. It's like they're writing it for other people to read, but not me.
Yeah,
I
on
just found
your
that
thing.
so interesting. Yeah, and I'm like, this is weird. And it's just like we put ourselves out in the open, and people are like, "Oh, she's putting this out for us. I guess we can criticize her. I guess we can do this because she's putting it out there." Um, it's just crazy to me. And
Yeah,
like
it's
how
not
I said,
licensed
like
to
how
comment.
opinionated people are and how they just feel entitled to constantly express how they're feeling 24/7 and they just don't filter themselves. I'm like, I could personally never comment mean stuff on other people's video. Even if it was like the worst video in the world, I would never do that. Like
Never, right? Like never.
no.
And the craziest thing is when you look at the comments compared to the views, you're like, oh, this is 1% of the people that viewed this.
Yeah.
and,
Literally.
and like that's just the total number of comments. The negative comments are like 0.0000001% of the people that viewed it. Like most people are like,
Yeah.
great video, and then they just exit it and go about their day. Like
Yeah.
the people who enjoy the content are never going to comment on it. Most likely,
Exactly.
they're not going to take the time.
Exactly.
They're going to just
Like
be
just
entertained by it.
today, exactly,
Yeah.
and, like, just today, I hit 20K, like, a couple days ago on my personal channel,
Nice.
which you guys should subscribe to. Um, and so I made, like, a community post being like, "Thank you guys so much," and then normally I, like, see the people that are constantly, like, responding to all my things on Instagram and YouTube, like, I recognize their profiles, I
Vuzu,
see
I
the
appreciate
usernames.
you. I have a guy. Vuzu's my guy.
Shout out
He
to
comments on
you.
everything. Hardcore
Yes,
day
shout
one fan.
out.
I love you.
Oh my god. I have, like, what's this guy's name? Jordan 95 HD. Yeah, love that guy. Um, but there was this guy that was just like huge fan, been watching for like months, and I was like, I don't even so he's just been watching and like appreciating me, but he just never commented, and I'm like, this is interesting. Wow.
You're like, all right, that's cool. I turned over one.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
That's another reason too why I
Wow.
wanted to do this like free form podcast where we're just like, what's next? What should I ask you? Like it humanizes us. Like I got
Exactly.
so tired of just that, like the amount of comments of people being like, is this guy a robot? Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
You're like, no, this is work.
Yeah, and it's
There's
like,
like a
that's why
work
I like my
personality and then there's a personal personality.
exactly, and that's why I like my personal channel because, like, I'm just unfiltered, like, I can do whatever I want, and, like, I don't even worry about YouTube censors, like, if I swear, I swear. I'm like, if I am talking about a depressing subject and it doesn't, it's not monetized, I don't care because it's my content. I just want to push it out there. So that's why I really like having a personal channel because they see the real me, not the hey everyone, what's up? Welcome
Yeah,
back.
always smiling, like always like
Yeah,
on and ready to go. It's like, guys, we're not always like that. We're not.
no,
No, no, no.
not at
Sometimes we're
all.
having a rough day and we still have to do
Yeah,
those videos.
yep.
But we love it.
It's
We love it.
crazy.
It's so much better than like I always think of like YouTube is a great medium for us to like express ourselves, and we're very fortunate that we
Mhm,
get to do it as a job, but
mhm.
it always feels like there's so much more, like it's just I don't know. Yeah, I just keep feeling like there's more to this internet world, you know, than
Okay.
just
Like there's
like
more that
there's more for like us at this company. I'm saying like us as YouTubers that work for this job. There's just like I can't put it into words right now, but I feel like there's just more opportunities to come that are gonna allow us to be like seen as more of ourselves. I don't know if that's gonna be like
mhm.
the metaverse being like, now we can be like in this VR world, and like that's kind of what I'm
Uh,
talking about is like the future, the advancements of technology. Like, how is
yeah,
this thing gonna change? Like, I could have never even imagined that I would be able to get a job on the internet 10
yeah,
years ago. If you had told me that, I'd be
me
like, huh?
neither.
The internet's just a thing I watch like weird videos on and then like go about my day. Like, it's not anything that I could get paid from, you freak.
Literally. It blows my mind how far everything has come.
I want to make sure that people give you a follow again here.
Hell
it's
yeah.
On Instagram at Lindsay_Ivan. Make sure you subscribe to Peach as well. Again, like I said, I'm going to put all these in the description below. Nice. Oh, slight freezing here. Personal channel, if we can get to it.
Oh,
I'll show off the personal channel. Share screen. There we go.
There we go.
Just give it a second for people to look at it. You got the idea. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been today's podcast. Lindsay, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much, Donnie. I appreciate it.
I'm hopefully that I'll clip out that little part of you talking about meeting the influencer scam artist, and we'll see if we go viral off that one alone. My request out to her to hopefully get her on the podcast. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it a way. I'll call her publicist.
True.
Which might also be her. It might be her. She might be her own publicist. Yeah.
Oh my God. She puts on a different hat or like a wig and like an accent. Yeah.
Let me do all the call to action stuff. If you guys are watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit like and leave a comment down below with your favorite part. If you're listening on Spotify and iTunes, thank you. And if you can, leave a 5-star review. But until next time, stay classy, everybody.
I'll see you when I see you. Bye.
2 outros. You've been listening to The Johnny Rogers Show. New episodes air every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.